I'm going to be honest, a lot of you all suck at networking, especially online, on social media, on these platforms. You wouldn't believe how many times I get messages from creatives, artists, and people who wanted to work with me that say, yo, or hey, or what up? Like with those kind of messages, I don't know what you want. Most of the time I give people the benefit of the doubt, but a lot of the time, I'm like, I'm not gonna respond to this because I understand in our community, the hip hop community, music industry as a culture, that we don't understand how to do business. So a lot of times I'll give the benefit of the doubt. But these are some of the ways to network with people who you want to work with. I'm gonna make it really simple. First thing that you have to do is when you want to work with somebody, understand what they do. Take the time to study a little bit about them. Study, their posting patterns. Study how often they're online, because this is going to help you get a response because you'll know when to hit that person up. Another thing is when you do slide into the DM or you're wanting to work with somebody, look to give value first. Look to give value. A lot of times I'll get messages saying, it'll be the first message, hey, let's collab. I'm looking around, I'm like, collab on what? And I don't respond to a lot of those messages because that's not giving me value. Like, what are we collaborating for? And a lot of times, then how is it going to be beneficial to me and you? So if somebody were to point out the fact, okay, look, I think this collaboration will make sense because of XYZ, boom, 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 then you have to just word it a certain way, and then people will want to work with you. So this is how you network with people. First, introduce yourself. Introduce yourself and explain to the person what you do. A lot of times if you're hitting them up, you need them, they don't need you. A lot of times people are hitting me, and that's not to be arrogant, it's to say, look, I like what you do, I enjoy what you do, I think that it could be beneficial to me, you know what I mean? That's why you're hitting that person up. So what you have to do is just introduce yourself, explain what you do. Hey, I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I'm an engineer, I would love to collaborate with you doing this, and this is how would it be beneficial to you. Because remember, the other person doesn't need you. You hit them up, remember? Or unless it's mutually beneficial and you guys have similar numbers and you're doing similar things. But in that regard, find out how you can give that person value. Because if you can't find out how you can give that person value, you shouldn't mind paying. Or you should ask how you can pay. Because that's how you get somebody's attention. You do business with them. That's how you get my attention. If you want to get my attention, you have to do business, or you have to make sense where we both can benefit off doing business. You saying that you're an artist, because a lot of times I'll begin to ask probing questions like, how is this going to be beneficial to me? And the person will say, well, when I blow up, I'll do XYZ. Excuse me, what have you done? So those things have to be outlined. So never ever hit anybody up and say, yo, and leave it there. That works in emails, that works to other creatives. But the people who are really business people who really don't, we have a way of trying to filter out the nonsense. So we want to see the messages that say, hey, look, I'm a fan of your work. I like this. I feel like I want to add value to do it by doing X, Y, Z. That's how you get people's attention. You give first. Because if you give first, then you'll get that person's attention and then at least give you a response. Because we want to know, what do you want? What do you want and how is it going to be mutually beneficial? Because this is relationship building. If I were meeting a billionaire or a millionaire or somebody that I needed in this industry, I would be looking to give value because most likely they don't need me. More than likely they don't need me. Here's a quick story of how I got my first mentor, right? My mentor has done $500 million deals in this music industry. One of the biggest people, I'm not going to tell you who he is. But I used to go to the studio, and after I got in the studio, I knew I couldn't get value, but I wanted to pick his brain. So what I would do is, I seen one intern leave, the intern that was responsible for cleaning up the studio. So even though I was paying my mentor rent because he owned the building, it was a plethora of studios, I started to clean up the building. And so he started to take notice. I would ask him things like, what do you need? Then he started to give me some time. He started to inquire about what I did, and because I knew that if I could save him some time, he'll give me a little bit of it. So in small little instances, I was able to ask him questions about publishing and copyrights. And he gave me important relationships that I still have to this day that's been very, very lucrative, just off giving him value. Because I knew that at that point in time, there was an opportunity for me to get in, because one intern that was critical to the building, who was cleaning up and was doing certain things, and even though I was a tenant, I didn't have to do that, but I wanted to give value because I want to establish a relationship with this possible mentor, and that's what got me in the door. I offered value first. It was so often that even to this day when I talk to him, I offer to pay him because his time is important. And he'll always be like, Fedarro, you don't have to pay me, you can just call me. But I know that his time is money. He's a millionaire. So I want to show him that I'm willing to give value. So that's what you guys have to do to network. If you want to give value, if you want to get some value, you want to work with the people that you like, make sure to give value first. So it's Fedarro. Hope you guys took this information, run with it, grow your network. Make sure you give value first.